Hi everyone, this is Sue with So Crafty. Just wanted to share another video with you, and I made this last night. This is a tag holder. Untie it there. Hopefully this is coming out on paper or on film good. But anyway, it's a accordion tag holder. You can keep your tags and things in. And so I thought I would do a small tutorial here and show you how easy it is to make this. I'm just going to set this to the side. So I will speed a lot of this up, but I'll explain a little bit. For the cover, I'm using a little bit stronger cardstock page, 12 by 12. And then I have 5 insert sheets I'm going to use that kind of coordinated together a little bit, all in the purples, as you can see, purples and yellows. And these are just your regular thin 12 by 12 craft sheets. And then I used a 6 by 6 sheet for the flap. As you can see on this one, the flap is a different color. And that's because I didn't want to waste a whole nother sheet, 12 by 12 sheet, to just cut down a flap. So I decided I would just do like a corresponding color. And I thought this color looked real nice with this cover. And so I will explain all this when I get to it. But this is a 6 by 6 sheet. So you will need one 12 by 12, a little thicker cardstock for the cover. One 6 by 6 for the flap, a piece of ribbon, and you know what, I did not even measure that ribbon. I wish I would have ahead of time. I would say it's a good, just a rough measurement here. It's a little over 3 feet long, but you can determine that how big you want the bow, and it doesn't have to be that wide a ribbon. It can just be a string. It could be whatever you choose to use for a closure. You can use a little piece of Velcro on the flap if you just want to close it with Velcro. That would be fine also. And then, like I said, some insert sheets, and you can use as many as you would like. I'm going to use 5 for this tutorial. Again, you can use as many sheets as you would like. So, to get started, and I will speed through a lot of this so that this video doesn't turn out to be really long. So for the cover, you're going to score it. Where did my scoring thing go? Okay. You're going to score it at the 3 1/4 spot. Whoops, hold my page there. And then again at the 8 7/8 spot, and then simply fold it after you determine what side is going to be your outside, I should say. But I want the flowers to be my outside, so I'm scoring from the inside, and then put it back on there after you folded it. I hope I'm still in frame here so you can see. Put it back on your scoreboard and score it at 6 inches. I'm going to do that one again just to make sure. And then you can fold that up to make sure it all matches well. And then I just gave it a good press. And that's okay if it's not perfectly. Apparently I didn't get it quite on the numbers exactly, but that's okay. So then I just fold it and give it another little press. It might give a little bit different form, and that's okay. Okay, so got the cover done. Then the inserts, again, you want to go from the inside, and I done those at 3 1/4. I think the other one was 3 1/8. I'm not sure if I said that. And then the other one on the other side, it would be 8 3/4. I'm going to score those at that. And again, we're going to fold them on that score. Ooh, that was really off center there for some reason. I think I slipped a little bit when I did that. I'm trying to hurry and I shouldn't do that, especially on camera, but you know, it's easily fixed. I mean, this is a little room for some adjustments there, no big deal. Again, put it back on again and score at the 6-inch mark. Okay, I'm only gonna do that once because this is the thinner paper, so it shouldn't take more than one time. And then again, just kind of match it up, make sure it matches up quite well. Give it a good fold, good press there. Okay, now I'm going to speed up the camera a little bit and go ahead and do the rest of these a little bit, do the rest of these real quickly so that it doesn't take up a whole long time. And I will say, before I speed it up, I will say the reason I do the inserts just one line smaller than the cover is because I noticed on the very first one that I did, I noticed that some of the edges, if you don't get it exactly right when you glue it, then they want to stick out just a little bit from the sides. So I just decided I would do the inserts just a tad bit smaller so that way they don't stick out when you get it all together, because it's really hard when you're gluing that many pages together. It's really hard to get it exactly even to be able to make sure that nothing sticks out. So this way, if the cover is just a tad bit larger than the inserts, then it should all go together quite well. So, okay, I'll speed up the camera now so that I'm not boring you with all these pages being scored. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I will explain what I did with the 6x6, which will be the flap. And so of course this was 6x6, and what I did was I went in and I cut off 1/2 inch on one side because when you get the finished product, you don't want that to overflap, and the 6 inches was overflapping there. So anyway, so I cut off 1/2 inch on one side, and then I scored it at 1 inch, and then I scored it again at, let me see, I made little notes here so I would remember when I figure out where I'm at here. I'm sorry I'm taking so long here. Okay, let me just figure it out here. Okay, so I did 1 inch, and then I did 1 1/4. I'm sorry, I must not have wrote it down. So 1 inch and 1 1/4 is where I scored it, and then I just used a edge punch and put this little design on it. That's optional. You can decorate it however you choose to do that. But what this is it's this flap. So when we get to it, and I'll explain it, but the reason I scored twice is because it just helps it go around it a lot easier and fold down. And then when you stuff this a little bigger, you could actually even do, I just thought of that, you could actually even do a bigger score, because this one I thought, well, I made that a little bit big, so this one I made smaller, but I wasn't even thinking about after I fill it. So actually you could put more scoring in there and actually just leave it that way, and so that way the more you fill it, the more you can change where the fold is. And so when you fill it up pretty full, you could do, you could have extra scoring in there so that you could just put a new fold in it. And I'm sorry, I did not even think of that. So, okay. And I did make this flap a lot longer for that reason. I did think of that. So I did make this one a lot longer so that when you tie the ribbon around, it will still close. But again, you could use Velcro pieces on there. You could make yourself a little tie ribbon. You could put elastic around it. You can really do however you choose to close your little packet there. So that being said, I am going to go ahead and score this some more, just because when I do fill that, I want plenty of room, or whoever. I'm going to score from the other side. Sorry about this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it at the 2-inch mark, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and I just slid it, and 4. And then that way, those are already there, so whenever you, go to fill, you can change that marking wherever you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and add that other half one right there. Okay, all right, so now, let me get this out of the way real quickly. I think we're pretty much done with it. Set it to the side. Okay, then lay something down to protect your workspace so you don't get any glue or anything on it. And what I did was, okay, so I started with the cover, and I did not worry about gluing these together ahead of time. You can if you choose to, but to save time, I just didn't. So, pretty new one, so. Okay, so let's stay on camera here. What I did was, I just went from about 2 inches on each side, maybe 1.5 inches. I wrote it down as 2, but it may actually be like 1.5 inches. And I just applied some glue. You don't want to go over too much because you want it to be able to do the accordion effect. Because believe it or not, my first one, I was not even thinking, and I glued the whole thing, and now it barely opens. I'm still going to use it for myself, but because, I'm not going to waste it. But anyway, I was not even thinking correctly, and I glued the whole thing. So, all right, and then just determine like what, if you want particular patterns in a certain row or something, just determine which one you want next. And I did go ahead and glue both pieces of paper. That might not be necessary, but I don't like things falling apart after I put them together. So I did go ahead and glue both sheets. And I also used stick glue, and I used just a craft bond. This is an Elmer's craft bond. You might have your own favorite glue you can use, and that is perfectly fine. I just wanted to use a little bit of both so that I knew it was well stuck together, and I didn't use a whole lot. But then I just simply took this and started matching up where the center line is there. Kind of get it in the center as much as possible. Again, you got that little bit of extra there because we cut that just a little bit bigger, which is great because it gives you that little extra room. And then just center it the best you can and press really well. Get that glue stuck together there, and I've got some on my fingers now. And then what I did was I folded it. Each time I do this, I fold it because, you know, as you put things together, your folds and stuff and that want to change just a little bit. So, and I just give it a really good pressing. Get that glue all in there, get it together. Then open it up and do the next one. So I'm going to finish this, and I will probably just speed it up here a little bit so that, again, I'm not wasting all this time on camera, you guys watching me glue pages together, because if you want to see again how I done it or anything, you can always rewind it a little bit and get this part over again. But I don't want to just waste your time being on camera that long, just watching me glue. So okay, I'll be quiet now and fast forward this. Okay, what I did here, I started to glue the wrong side by accident, which doesn't matter because my other one I actually rotated. So it really doesn't matter what side that you're doing because it's all going to go together anyway, and be glued down. So what I did is I just folded it the opposite way. Once I realized I started to glue the wrong side, I didn't want that to be all sticky, so I just started the opposite way, and I'm getting myself over a little bit too far there. I know I made the outside a little bit bigger, but I don't want it too far over. Let's see if I can get this off there before it sticks too fast. Oh, I didn't even put the liquid glue on it. Okay, here I go, messing up on film. So, hey, slow down. Okay, so that one was the last page, and as you could see, it was already taking like a natural curve form, and so I was just pushing on it to try to make sure that they're all back in there quite well, and try to get that center, you know, well in there. And I did fold this one the opposite than what I scored it. I don't know, I guess I've done a couple of these now, and I just like the solid piece being in the center for the last gluing. I don't know why. I guess maybe I'm just afraid it might shift a little bit or something. I'm not sure, but just that's your own preference, I guess. But how you want to do that, I guess it probably doesn't matter. It's just for my own unskilled protection, I guess I'll say, that I just want to protect it and make sure it's okay. So I'll do that last one there. And I have a little holder thing. I keep this upside down, but if I do that, then I have to put the lid on it every time, and I didn't want to take that time out to do that. That's why you see me shaking it so much. So, okay, I'm going to get that folded. Get it pressed really, really well. I probably overpress. I don't know. I just like to make sure everything's glued quite well. Hopefully nothing's seeping in between any of the pages. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it looks really good. So now what I do is I go ahead and determine what side I like the best for the front. And this paper is just so gorgeous. I guess it really doesn't really matter which one's the front and the back. Oh, I guess this one kind of looks a little, this one's quite pretty. So this one looks a little upside down, so I don't know why. But now I did notice this on the last one I did too, that it just had just a little bit sticking off the top. And all I did was go in and just take from the side that you can see it really well and just trim that off a little bit. It's not a big deal. Because you're going to have the flap on there and nobody's going to see it but you. But I don't know. I just did it for myself. Ooh, could have been smoother, but okay. So, all right. Now, what side did I determine here? I think this is the back. This is going to be the front. So, what I'm going to do then is take this flap. And the only place I want to apply the glue is this 1-inch strip here. That's the 1 inch that we scored. So I'm just going to apply some stick glue here. Try to get the edges as much as I can. I am going to add just a little bit of this glue. I tell you, I wish hot glue wasn't so messy because I would use hot glue for everything. I'm looking at this front here. I don't want that glue to touch that. And this side seems to be a little more flat on that aspect. And trim this down just a little more from this side. Straighten that up a little bit. Hopefully you've seen that on film, but all I did was just took some scissors and trim that down just a little bit because, again, I don't want that glue to seep down inside these pockets and end up closing them. So I am going to use that side as the front after all, and this one seems to be up a little higher and doesn't look like it would take as much of a risk to do that, so I'm going to do that side. And then I'm going to match that fold up, kind of center it there as much as I can. Try to match that fold up there and press it down really well. Check this front there a little bit. I got the back centered, but the front is offset just a little bit. But I guess it's not really going to matter because when you get your closure on there. Oh my goodness! I just realized I forgot to apply the lace on this one. So guess what? This one's going to get a different type of closure. I completely forgot to show you because on this one, what I did was this light is seeping down on me here. Sorry, you guys. What I did was, before I glued my first one on, I glued a strip of lace right onto this back pocket here before I started attaching the rest of them. And I completely spaced and did not do that on this one, so that's okay. We will just, I'll come up with a different type of closure. I actually have some pink Velcro. I'll probably just put a little bit of Velcro on each side there, or maybe I'll just do a elastic band closure on this one. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Now what I did was, on the other one, I tied it with the ribbon, but since I don't have the ribbon on this one, I'm just going to set it to the side. I'll put something heavy on it. And I let it set for, well, I let it set overnight because it was late last night when I did that one. But you could just let it set for a few hours, give that glue time to really set in there really well. And then that way you don't have to worry about it being too wet when you start putting things in it. And so I let it set for a while. Then again, I opened it up again and checked it and made sure that no glue had seeped in the creases there and stuck the pages together. But this one looks really good, and so it looks like it's going to do fine. And then you can just decorate it. You can decorate the cover if you want to, but if you're going to use like a big piece of lace like this one, there's really not really any room to decorate, because by the time you cover it up and get your lace on there and get your big bow and that going, I mean, you could probably decorate up here if you wanted to. That's up to you. I'm going to go in and score some more things there because I've never even thought about after I fill it. And so then